Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session that I did with a gentleman that was suffering from an addiction or a habit, I guess you could call it, that was actually affecting the quality of his life, and that he felt was taking his life in a direction that would be detrimental to his character, his identity, and really felt that it would cost him in missed opportunities. The specific area I'm not going to mention here on this, but what I will say is that it relates to a modern let's say addiction or habit that affects a lot of people. And the key to it really is kind of technology. More so than what people think it is really the technology behind making something like widely available. Now, for you listening to this hypnosis session, what I would say is that this could help with all kinds of technology addictions. Could help with being addicted to gaming, could help with being addicted to social media, to watching too much Netflix or streaming TV, too much porn, too much, of anything online really. Because the key thing that technology and particularly smartphones has enabled is this instant gratification. And it doesn't matter if that is a notification on social media that someone's liked your post, or it doesn't matter if it's some kind of interactive live game experience, or a battle royale type of thing like Fortnite. The key thing is that time is the scarce resource that we all have in our life, and if you're investing time in digital devices, that can erode the opportunity to have real experiences. So what you're actually going to hear in this hypnosis session is creating a life choice of choosing a challenging reality and all the problems that reality brings with an easy artificial fantasy, a delusion, if you will. And the reality is, I think as technology evolves at the rate that it is at the moment, more and more people will be sucked into a trap almost, where games and virtual experiences, and particularly in the metaverse, will enable people to get that emotional needs being met, get that dopamine and the serotonin hits purely from virtual experiences rather than real experiences. And the real danger of that is that while the emotions are real, the experience isn't necessarily real. And the danger is for people who are addicted to the emotional feelings of a virtual experience, could mean that they end up later in life feeling that they've missed out on real, genuine experiences. So useful for gaming disorder, useful for, let's say, online betting, online casinos, online poker, porn addiction, any of these things. If that relates to you, hopefully this session will be useful. But of course, this was created for someone else. So if you feel that this is useful, but perhaps doesn't give you the exact hypnosis that you're looking for to create a change in your life, there will be a link nearby for you to schedule a free 30-minute consultation call with me to explore working with me. Or you can check out my website, adamcox.co.uk, and look at the different ways in which you can work with me there. But for now, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow feelings of tension, worry, or stress to leave your body in your outward breath. As you continue to breathe in and breathe out, notice that with your eyes closed, you're better able to focus on the sound of my voice. You might notice that to begin with, you're breathing from your chest, feeling your chest rise and fall as you exhale. But it's also interesting that as you become more relaxed, don't be surprised if your breathing starts deeper and lower. As you breathe out more than you normally would, holding it for a second with completely empty lungs, knowing that the next breath that you take in will take a deeper breath than the breath before. As you accept that the deeper you breathe, the deeper relaxed you go. And the deeper relaxed you go, the more that your brainwaves shift from alpha to beta to theta waves. The frequency changes, enabling your mind to access a dreamlike state. And you access this state when you're reading a book and you can't remember changing and turning the pages. Or perhaps when you're lost in a daydream and you just consider incredible possibilities effortlessly. In a state like that, it doesn't require effort because your mind already knows how to create realities that aren't real, but are real enough for you to learn, reflect, and entertain new possibilities for the future. There's very little difference between remembering a memory and thinking of something new. Only that memories tend to be connected to more powerful emotions. And I want you to recall a time when you were trekking through a forest. Imagine you're back in your body, surrounded by the trees, the freshness of the air. Imagine you're back there, and if there was a unique smell to that forest, imagine smelling that smell again. Maybe there was sunlight breaking through the branches. Maybe there were sounds of birds or animals, gentle breeze on your skin. Just get a sense that here in this forest, this is your paradise, your heaven. Here, you couldn't feel more relaxed, even if you tried. Continue to walk through that forest. And in doing so, I want you to entertain the idea that back then when you were in the forest, you could have stayed at home watching a video of a forest. You could have been at home and you would have had the full control to see what forest you look at. You could see them from different angles. Drone footage of a forest. Someone actually walking through a forest. Maybe people riding bikes through a forest with a GoPro. There would be so many different ways that you could see the forest, and yet, if you were at home watching videos of a forest, you're not actually in a forest. You would miss out on the smells of the forest, the sound of the forest, the freshness of the air. It would be like a forest, but not a forest. And I want you to entertain an idea that anything possible in reality is possible in a virtual reality. You can be in a forest, or you can watch a video of a forest. And I want you to get a sense that the main benefit of watching something rather than experiencing something comes down to variety and control. There, from the comfort of your own home, you've got unlimited forests that you could go on YouTube and find. And the moment you get bored of one forest, you could look at another forest. You have the control, you have the variety, and you also have the safety. There is no risk of injury just watching videos of forests. There is no wild animals that can jump out of the screen. But I want you to be left with an idea that back then, if you would have just watched movies of a forest, was that really building a new memory for you? And I want you to accept something that you already know to be true, and that is, you would choose a challenging reality over a safe, easy delusion. Back then, if you were watching the videos of the forest, deep down you know you're not actually in a forest. It's safe, but it's not real. And if your mind accepts that reality is better than delusion, let me know by nodding your head. And at this point, find yourself back in that forest, breathing in fresh air with a sense that you are about to go into a deep feeling of relaxation. I want you to imagine somewhere in this forest is the most comfortable chair that you've ever seen. I want you to imagine that you're resting on that chair, putting your body in that chair, feeling the heaviness of your arms and legs in that chair. Very soon I'm going to count down from 10 to 1 and you will imagine what it would be like to fall asleep in that chair in that forest. And in doing so, you will go into a trance-like state. What the old shamans or witch doctors would call an alternative reality. As we start to count 10, just feeling heavier and heavier, allowing your eyelids to get heavier and limper and looser, that's it. 9, feeling that tension go from your forehead, your jaw. 8, as you breathe in, your lungs feel more deeply and totally relaxed. That's it. 7, shoulders, neck, releasing that tension. 6, arms all the way down to your fingers, perhaps feeling a tingling sensation. Just get heavier and heavier. That's it. 5, as you breathe in, even your internal organs relax. 4, your neck, your shoulders. I want you to get a sense that everything is relaxing, going down into your calf muscles, your toes, everything relaxed now. That's it. 3 and then 2, just imagine what it would be like to fall asleep into a deep sleep there in that forest, there on that chair. 2 and then 1, and just imagine doing that now as you fall asleep just in your imagination there on that chair in that forest. And as you do so, I want you to get a sense that there is a wonderful opportunity to explore the future. This is just your imagination after all. And I want you to think about an area of your life that is gratifying. It gives you a release of pleasure based on variety, based on control, based on unlimited options. And I want you to get a sense of what it would be like if nothing changed in this area of your life. And I want you to consider this being a delusion. Much like watching videos of the forest isn't like a real forest, I want you to imagine that this area of your life is choosing a fantasy, a delusion rather than reality. I want you to get a sense that in the short term, nothing much changes. You're just giving a bit more of your time to something that could be used elsewhere. But I want you to accept that over time, small things can create big outcomes. Rivers and canyons weren't created overnight. The erosion was gradual over time until they create massive changes. And I want you to think back and to think of how much time you've already invested in this area of your life, this delusion. I want you to remember the very first time and realize that back then it had a use. You were learning about yourself, learning about what you liked, figuring things out. But as time went on, it wasn't about learning anymore. It was about controlling emotions. You figured out that you had a tap that could make you feel a certain way whenever you turned that tap. And because it worked, you started using it more and more as a coping strategy, as a way to change your mood, as a way to provide that instantaneous hit of dopamine. And perhaps you've already invested hundreds upon hundreds of hours in this fantasy, this delusion. And I want you to think where you would be now if you would have spent the same time in whatever you consider the most important role for you to play in your life. Already in the present, you would be a different person if you would have taken the same time. And you can even entertain the idea of, what if you took that same time to learn something else that just isn't that important? Maybe a language. Maybe the same time that you've invested in this area of your life could mean that you're already fluent in a different language. Or maybe you've got unique skills in a different area that you had the time to learn. In the same way that there is infinite delusion available, there is no shortage of every possible scenario, type of person, type of situation available online. There's also never been so much opportunities to learn online. And I want you to get a sense that if you would have taken the same time to learn something else, how would you be different financially? How would you be different intellectually? How would you be different emotionally? And then accept that you didn't make that choice and that you did invest that time in something that hasn't given you anything new or beneficial. I want you to accept that when you invest in reality, rather than fantasy or delusion, you enjoy the moment and then you enjoy thinking back about the moment in the same way that when you think of forests that you've visited or cities that you've seen, they were good in the moment and they're good when you think back to them. But when you think about videos that you've watched in the past. Maybe they were pleasurable in the moment, but you don't think of them as memories because they were never memories. They were someone else's memory. I want you to get a sense as to what will happen if things don't change. Imagine yourself 5 years from now, investing perhaps 5 hours a week, maybe more, in this area of your life. Think of the missed opportunities. What it's done to your emotions like confidence and self-esteem and your identity. Step into that version of you and feel the weight of those missed opportunities. What you could have learned but didn't. The memories you could have made but didn't. The experiences you could have had but didn't. Step into that feeling of regret just with 5 years. And then go forward another 5 years, 10 years of not making this change. Yeah, you had the control, you had the convenience, but it was a delusion. It was a safe, easy delusion. You were choosing that over real experiences, real moments, real memories. And in doing so, each life is a sand timer where the grains of sand go relentlessly, minute after minute, second after second. And when you choose to spend those grains of sand on something that is a delusion, is a fantasy, just know that those grains of sand are not available for anything else. Go forward another 10 years in your future, 20 years you've had now of having your very life's energy drained away in this area of your life that is just a fake, easy delusion. These aren't real experiences. They're artificial experiences. These are someone else's moments and memories. There are people that travel the world, and there are people that just watch videos of people traveling the world. And at some level, you've got to decide if you are the kind of person that wants a challenging reality or a safe, easy delusion. Go forward now until you're 70 or 80 years old and just imagine that by making this choice of choosing delusion, the relationships that you never had, the things you never got to learn, the things you never got to do. Look back at your life. Are you filled with pride? Or is there a feeling of regret and missed opportunity? And I wonder if enough is enough and you're ready to make a change, to choose the real forest rather than the fake forest, the real experiences rather than the virtual reality. When you're ready to make that change and choose reality over fantasy, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. Allow that decision to ripple through your body, not knowing how it will actually be yet, but just accepting that you've made that decision. That you're choosing a reality with all the challenges that that brings, even though you know that it's not the easy thing to do. I want you to get a sense now of going back into that forest. And entertaining a different possible future. A future where you value reality and truth and authenticity over everything else. The version of you that would choose to be in a real forest than watch a video of a forest. The version of you that would choose to play a sport rather than watch a sport on TV. The version of you that would want to connect with real people rather than interact with what may even be fake accounts online on social media. I want that part that wants reality and truth and connection to entertain a possibility. A possibility of what it would be like to choose reality. Step into that version of you, knowing that it's not easy. There's a part of you that already knows that what you've been doing isn't an addiction. It's just convenient, it's easy, it's on tap. It's wherever you want it, as much as you want it. Constant, unlimited choice. And you've not realized up to this point that you're paying for the privilege, that the commodity here is you. This is a time leech. The more time you invest in here, the more it takes your very life force, your energy, your attention, your emotions, your soul is being leached away, bled dry from this unlimited choice and instant gratification. And this future version of you sees it for what it is. It's a trap. It was always a trap. It stole weeks of your life so far and will steal years if you let it. It's easy, it's convenient, it's pleasurable, but it isn't real. And I want you to imagine what a year would look like where you choose real experiences. Challenging realities. And notice that by choosing challenging realities, you learn stuff. You learn how to communicate better. Your character evolves. Your life becomes such that you get comfortable outside of your comfort zone. I want you to get a sense that as the year turns into 2 years and then 3 and then 4 and then 5, how much better you feel about who you are, what kind of person you've become. You feel better about the impact that you're having on the world. You feel better that life is constantly evolving for you, because although this decision was one area of your life, it couldn't help but spill out into other areas of your life. Why would you watch reality TV when you can live reality? Why would you spend hours on social media when you can connect with real people? Why would you choose porn and fantasy when you can choose real experiences, real moments? And it wasn't the intention, but it means that now all of that time invested into real things has mean that you're earning more. You're more significant. You've grown in stature, confidence. You are a man of gravitas and character. You've moved away from that possibility. A possibility that in one reality you were the jerk off, the loser. And isn't that what a jerk off or a loser would do? They'd be afraid of the challenging realities, and they would seek out the things that are safe and easy and instantaneous. But you've taken the harder road, the more difficult path, a path where you would always choose the challenging reality, because you know that in this pathway, either you win and you have amazing experiences, or you learn invaluable lessons that take your life in exactly the direction that you want to go. In this pathway, you are a person that people look up to. You are someone that inspires other people. You are someone that has an impact on the world. Yeah, you're earning more. More importantly, you are a man of intellect, impact, constantly leaving the world better than the world that you found. Could you have done that? Living in a fantasy, a safe bubble where you control everything? You choose reality. And in choosing reality, you become more real. Your memories are real because they're true experiences. Your connections are real because they're with real people, not recordings. Your life is real because you've made it real. As the years turn into decades, there's a growing sense of pride. As you catch yourself in the occasional reflection, the man you see back is a man you respect, you look up to. The years turn into yet more years, and you reach the later time of your life, your 70s and your 80s, and you look back at your life and you feel warm inside. There are no regrets because you chose reality. You chose the difficult path. You avoided the traps in life of the instantaneous gratification and easy delusions, and instead you chose challenging, difficult realities. They weren't easy, but they were worth it. And in choosing that, you lived a real life. And if your unconscious mind is ready to fully embrace this identity of being a man of reality, that you look down on those easy delusions, you see them for what they are. They have always been a trap, and they're a trap now, and they'll be a trap in the future. If you're truly able to step into the choice of reality, let me know by nodding your head. Find yourself back in that chair, in that forest, and think, what does this mean for tomorrow? What will you instantaneously do to reinforce this decision? What files will you delete? What websites will you block? What new software will you install to create barriers to make it less easy to do the old patterns that you've decided that you don't want anymore? As the days turn into weeks, you notice that what you've lost in one area of your life, you've gained in a different area. It always happens in life. As one door closes, another door opens, and your life is being positively reinforced. And then find yourself back there in that chair in that forest. Climb up out of the chair and notice it's sunrise. You're waking up to a forest, and there's a sunrise over a lake, and this sunrise represents a new chapter in your life. There's no shame in the past. You made the choices that you made, and without those choices, you couldn't have made a new decision. This new chapter, you decide how it's written. You decide the kind of man that you are and the kind of man that you want to be. You also decide the kind of man you don't want to be. And there will be crossroads on the trail of your life frequently. You can always choose the path of an easy delusion, where you're paying the price, not in money, but in your time, and time is money. But more importantly, time is missed opportunities. Or you could take the more challenging path. And if time after time you always choose the challenging reality over the easy delusion, just know that you're taking your life into the very direction where you get to be the person that you want to be. A man of stature, of character, a life well lived, with true real experiences, with real moments, real relationships, real memories. And then you realize it's all down to you and the choices you make, not once, but consistently. And if you're ready to start that new chapter and to become the person you've always meant to be, just let me know by nodding your head. And now it's time to leave this powerful part of your imagination and return to your reality. As you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, you realize that you are firmly in the present. These are just thoughts within thoughts, dreams within dreams, ideas within ideas, and actually right now, you are listening to my voice firmly in the present. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. That's it. Get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now as I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, motivated, knowing that you can make a choice and continue to make that choice, taking your life in the very direction where you get to be the person that you want to be. You get to be the role that you want to be, and you get to be the master of your own self. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.